So this Ninja mixing tip is really a workflow thing and how to use what I call second sight to make sure that you've got a good mix. And there are different ways to check our mix and make sure that we're on the right track. So the first is, as we've already covered before, referencing other songs. And this is so important to reference other songs in the same or a similar genre to yours and make sure that the mixes sound comparable. And if you are doing this in your DAW, A being yours, against the released mix, make sure to account for the extra gain the professional mix will have because of the mastering stage. So just reduce the volume of that track before you compare it to yours, because you won't think yours will sound as good because it's simply not as loud. You can also use a spectrum analyzer to analyze the released song and compare it to yours. Now, you don't want to go crazy and try and compare every single frequency, but a general kind of frequency shape, making sure that you've got as much low end as the released song, as much high end, and a similar shape in the middle. That can help, but always use your ears first. Which brings me to point 2. And this is something that some producers have told me in the past, but they like to close their eyes when they listen to their mix, as it gives them a bit of objectivity, because when we're looking at our DAW screen and we can see a drop coming, for instance, we anticipate this, and actually seeing the screen can be distracting and take us away from the most important thing, which is from how it sounds. Now, personally, I find closing my eyes a little bit distracting in a different way. So what I like to do is leave my eyes open, but just switch my monitor off, and then I can look at something else in the room. And for me personally, I've found this works really well for listening to my music and just judging it by what I can hear. Another tried and tested method is, of course, taking a break, even if it's for a few hours, but ideally a day or two, just to give your ears a chance to rest and acclimatize. And then when you come back into the studio and listen to your mix, you should be able to pick up straight away any problems that you've got. Just make a note of them on a notepad and then get into your DAW and start tweaking those points that you've noted down. Now, a more extreme version of this, and it works great with dance music, is what I call the beer test. Now, I'm not advocating anyone starts drinking alcohol, but if you already do like a drink now and again, coming back into this studio after you've had 1 or 2 beers and you're in the mood, a mood that you would be at a festival or a nightclub, you're on the vibe. And that is really important, because if you start listening to your music, you're just in the moment. And if you've had a beer or 2 and something sounds wrong, you're going to know it, because the drop will come and you'll be like, you wanted it to hit harder. So yeah, have a beer or 2. Don't go crazy, because then you won't be able to do the work afterwards, but I swear by it. Another test you can do to check the frequencies of your song is great if you're a DJ. It's called the mix test. So if you get some professionally released songs and you mix them in, you can either do that on CDJs or you can just do it in your DAW and just mix your song into it like a DJ mix. Then you can hear if the energy level drops. Now, of course, the released songs will be mastered. So to account for that, you can either reduce the volume of the released songs in your mix, or you can master your own mix. But if you don't have the skill yet for that, or you don't want to pay someone to do it, you can just put a limiter on yours and do a really rough master. It won't sound nearly as good as a proper master, but you should more be able to match the levels of the released songs in the mix. And of course, if you've gone through this course and you have made your mix really good, there's not much to do in the mastering stage, so it should sound pretty good. And those are ways that I shake things up and use the Force to test my mix. So try them out.